The defense is something we haven't really spoken about a lot this summer, but there has been talk in recent days that Arsenal are looking at Jorrel Hato, the 19-year-old Ajax defender. And of course, Arsenal were tipped to sign Dean Howson earlier this summer. Of course, he then went to Real Madrid for 50 million. And on Jorrel Hato, we spoke about Tognozzi coming in last week, how he could really help that youth recruitment drive. Could Jorrel Hato, in your eyes, be an ideal alternative for Dean Howson if it does happen? Could you see it potentially happening?
I could, just because I know Arsenal have been interested in a long, long time. And I think when you look at what they're going to do defensive or maybe want to do defensively, I think a young defender would be the sort of route they want to go down. I think Hato as well, his versatility, which is something Mikel Arteta absolutely loves in any sort of player. He's not just sort of pigeonholed into one position. If it was his to sign, he could cover at centre back, he could play left back if needed as well. So I think that versatility would be a big sort of plus for him. And I think if you sign in a player of that sort of age, they're probably a little bit more open to, although Hato's hugely expensive, obviously, not expensive, experience in terms of minutes he's played in the last couple of seasons. He's been playing a lot, but I still think it's an easier sort of sell to him being behind the likes of Gabriel and fighting for your place and not really starting every single game. It's easier at his sort of age to sell that, I think, than it would be sort of someone in their mid-20s who've got a little bit more experience. So it is something I could see happening, but I do wonder if something like Hato was to happen, I still feel like a player, at least one player, would have to leave. And you're kind of looking at Kivior potentially as that player if it was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you've honestly answered my next two questions perfectly there because I was going to say about how if Hato would come in, no, it's unlikely because that defense, that Arsenal defense, when it's fit and when it's fully fit, it's a settled defense.
Mm.
And of course, Hato is playing pretty much week in, week out at Ajax, mainly at left back, but as you said, can also cover at centre back. So you think it would be, even though he would have to give up playing week after week for Ajax to maybe, just play sparingly behind Gabriel or Lewis Skelly or Calafiori for Arsenal, you could see him being open to that.
It would be. I mean, it'd take some convincing, I'm sure, but I think players have backed their own ability to get some minutes as well. And it's a big, big club. It's a big move. He's got Jurrien Timber. He's seen Jurrien Timber come over when everyone looked at that signing and thought, why is he doing that? You got Ben White playing there. You got Saliba as a right-sided centre back. Why is Jurrien Timber making that move? That's a bit mad. You're not going to play any football. And 2 years down the line, 1 year really in footballing terms, because he missed the first year through injury, and he's basically Arsenal's first choice now. So he's gone and he backed himself, and he's made himself pretty much undroppable. So I'm sure someone like Hato would, when they believe in themselves and they believe in their own ability, could see that himself doing something very, very similar. So it would obviously be part of the negotiations, and I'm sure that you'd want guaranteed playing time, or as guaranteed as you could get playing time. But I think ultimately these players, they really back themselves as well and believe that they can come into a club, whoever's in front of them, and claim their spot.